Many men go fishing all their lives without knowing it's not fish they're after. And there's a lot of truth to that.
Florida and fishing, the two go hand in hand.
Florida alone, is the fishing capital of the world. And, it's almost a $10 billion a year industry.
But the industry is in danger.
The fishing was unbelievably good. Now you can go out and not even catch a fish.
Areas that I once fished that were extremely productive and fertile areas declined to the point of being, almost a wasteland.
Freshwater discharges from what some say is a poisoned Lake Okeechobee could be killing fishing in Florida.
I know that there are guys that are totally out of work.
Born and raised here. We would go fish from the shore, we'd go canoe in Ding Darling, and I grew up on Sanibel Island.
Chris Whitman's life is fishing. It's not only his passion, it's his career.
I've been a fishing guide here for 20 years.
But now, his way of life is being threatened.
Over my career, I've seen, loss of grass flats, loss of oyster beds.
There's no doubt discharges from Lake Okeechobee are having an impact on our estuary and coastline. It's the how and why that may be up for debate.
I have memories as a kid that were honestly some of the best memories I have in my life. In the mouth of the Caloosahatchee, fishing oyster bars for snook, for redfish, tarpon. The oyster bars I grew up fishing, I couldn't take my clients there to catch snook where I caught my first snook because it's a dead zone.
Daniel also makes a living on the water, but after the appearance of algae in 2013 and 16, he realized his career as a fishing guide may be in jeopardy.
We know that if things continue to get worse, they're not just going to plateau. The whole, what you'll eventually experience is full ecosystem collapse.
Instead of sitting on the sidelines, Daniel and Chris decided to take action. In 2016, they founded Captains for Clean Water with the goal of advocating clean water policies to help the industry they love.
Not an issue where it's a science issue, where we need a bunch more science to figure out what's wrong or what's happening. It's not an engineering issue to figure out what kind of projects we need to do in order to fix it. It's a political will issue.
Other fishermen around the state are joining the fight.
What's going to happen for the future if we don't start getting things done? We all talk about it, people mention it, but we all don't get together. We haven't gotten together and pushed for something to get done.
This isn't what we want to be doing. We want to be on the water fishing.
After the blooms in 13 and 16, Chris and Daniel were getting hit where it hurts, their wallets.
It got to the point where, I couldn't, in good conscience, charge them to take them fishing with the situations that we were dealing with.
I think it was just a wake-up call that my business model, career as a fishing guide, it probably wasn't going to be sustainable. At some point, before I had enough money saved up to retire, I'd probably have to find something else to do.
We were losing 80+% of our business.
In 2013, fishing in Florida was worth $5 billion. Despite the issues, it may have become more valuable to the state.
Tackle manufacturers, boat manufacturers from all across the country, their businesses depend on South Florida.
It makes it bad for everybody. For Josh with Westwall Outfitters and every other fish and tackle store, there's no business. It's bad. It's real bad.
It's going to end up impacting all the finances throughout the whole state of Florida.
Chris, Daniel, and fishermen all over the state want to see changes soon, before this problem starts to affect more than the fish.
If somebody saves up all year to come on vacation, and they come here and they have a bad experience, and their waters are nasty and they don't catch fish, and they feel like all this, they worked so hard all year to go to Florida and experience these things that they've seen and maybe been on their bucket list to catch a tarpon. Those people come here and have a bad experience, there's a real good chance we don't get them back.